Fight!
Time spy.
Counter! Counter! Shadow Boss. Fight! Counter! 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 KO! You lose. Brave.
Who is my equal?
Jaina.
You wanna fight?
Round one. Fight!
Dragon Arts! Dragon Arts! Burn!
KO! Round two. Fight!
Careful! Burn! Red Dragon!
KO! Round three. Fight!
Burn! Burn!
Counter! KO! Round four. Fight!
Burn! Dragon Arts! Rain of Fire!
Counter!
Burn!
KO! Geiger.
It's my time to fight.
Onomaru.
I'm in command here.
Round 1. Fight!
Divide and conquer! Hey! Divide and conquer! Superior! Attack! Hey! Hey! Divide and conquer!
KO! Perfect! Round 2. Fight!
Divide and conquer! Here! Hey! Maneuver!
Counter!
Maneuver! Get it! Hey! Here! Get it!
KO! Round 3. Fight!
Divide and conquer!
KO! Perfect! Round 4. Fight!
Divide and conquer!
KO! Perfect! You lose. Satsuki.
Can't catch me.
Satsuki.
Can't catch me.
Satsuki.
Can't catch
Satsuki.
me.
Satsuki. 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 Satsuki.
Can't catch
Satsuki.
me.
Satsuki. 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 Satsuki.
Can't catch
Satsuki.
me.
Satsuki. 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 Satsuki.
Can't catch me.
Satsuki.
Can't catch
Satsuki.
me.
Satsuki. 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 Satsuki.
Can't catch me.
Jaina.
You wanna fight?
Round 1.
Yeah! Ready! Burn! Burn! Yeah! Yeah! Ready!
KO!
Yeah!
Round 2. Fight!
Yeah! Yeah! Ready! Burn! Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
KO!
Yeah!
Round 3. Fight!
Yeah! Burn!
Counter!
Rain of fire!
Counter! KO! Round 4. Fight!
Yeah! 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 Yeah!
Round 5. Fight!
Yeah! Yeah! Huh? Yeah! Dragons! Ah! Yeah! Huh? Yeah! Ah! Yeah! Burn!
Counter!
Ah! Yeah! Dragons!
KO! Round 6. Fight!
Huh? Yeah! Huh? Yeah! Dragons! Yeah! Red dragon! Burn! Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
Counter!
Yeah! Yeah!
KO! Round 7. Fight!
Yeah! Yeah! Red dragon! Burn! Dragons! Yeah! Yeah!
Counter! KO! You win! Welcome to Fantasy Strike. I'm Master Midori. Let's learn by doing. Pop the balloons by touching them.
Cancel! Sisu! Sisu! Sisu!
Attack me to advance.
Jaina Stormborn is reckless, rebellious, and a bit of a show-off. That's exactly why Master Midori taught her archery as a way to instill some patience. She wields a magical bow with an endless supply of flame arrows. Jaina is a strong zoning character, one of the best in the game at keeping opponents away. She does it by creating an obstacle course of flame arrows. Her B button shoots a flame arrow. She can do that on the ground or in the air. On the ground, she can hold down the B button to charge it up. Her level 2 shot destroys enemy projectiles and keeps on going. Her level 3 shot is unblockable. In the air, holding B doesn't charge up her shots, but it does allow her to extend her hang time, which can be helpful. Jaina's Air C shoots a different kind of flame arrow diagonally up, and then it rains down a bit later. The most important thing to know about it is that she can have as many of these shots on screen as she can get. Usually, in Fantasy Strike and most fighting games, you can't shoot a projectile while your previous projectile is still on screen. For example, Jaina can only have one horizontal shot on screen at any given time, whether that's her Air B or her Ground B. But she can do Air C shots in addition to that. And to amp it up, her Air Super fires off 3 of these shots at once, and all of that can be in addition as well. For example, she can jump C, and then jump Air Super, and then land and shoot her horizontal B shot. That's a lot of projectiles at once, and it's also a good setup to try to land her unblockable level 3 shot while the opponent is dealing with the rain of fire. Jaina's knee, her forward A normal attack, has a lot of uses. She can travel forward quickly with it, and it's a pretty high priority attack. On hit or on block, she can cancel into an air special. This lets her combo knee into Air B for 2 hits. If you happen to hit the opponent out of the air really high up, you can actually combo into another knee and then into Air B for 3 damage. Her neutral A is a fast kick that also cancels the specials. Her jumping A is a dive kick with a very shallow angle. She can't really use it to get close to opponents, but if she's already near them, it lets her put together some pretty good rushdown. Her standard 3-hit combo is dive kick, knee, Air B. She can also dive kick, neutral A, ground B. Her roundhouse kick, done with back plus A, can't cancel the special moves, but it reaches pretty far. It lets her poke or sometimes punish things that she otherwise couldn't, because her roundhouse hits faster at long range than any of her other attacks. Jaina usually wants to keep opponents away and make them deal with a lot of arrow shots, but what if they manage to get close? She has 2 invulnerable moves to knock opponents off her, but they each have drawbacks. Keep in mind that even a bad reversal attack is extremely powerful on a solid keep-away character. Jaina's first reversal option is Dragonheart, which is her ground C attack. It's an invulnerable Dragon Punch style move that knocks opponents away. It has slow startup, but even more notably, it damages herself. Yes, really. You have to be very careful with this move, but if you only have 1 life left, it won't kill you, so you can go hog wild at that point. But keep in mind that Dragonheart is completely unsafe on block. Even though taking self-damage is a big drawback, it can be worth it. If the opponent is jumping into you and you have to choose between blocking or Dragonheart, well, if you block, it lets the opponent start doing what they want to do. But if you Dragonheart, it will damage them for 1, as well as damage you for 1, and it will leave the opponent at full screen. They'll probably have to block your next flame arrow too. That way, you're doing what you want to do. Jaina's second reversal option is her ground super, Red Dragon. It doesn't cost her life to use, but it has an enormously long startup. She has to predict a move quite early to hit with Red Dragon. Jumping opponents can even block it on reaction if she does it too late. It still has its uses though, and it does 2 damage on hit. Jaina excels at filling the screen with flame arrows and forcing the opponent to figure out how to deal with it all. She can vary the timing of her obstacle course to frustrate opponents. If they stay back, they'll end up taking block damage or even get hit by her unblockable level 3 shot as her air super rains down. When things go wrong, can you afford the 1 life to Dragonheart them off you? Can you afford not to? Jaina is a bit of a paradox in that she combines patience and recklessness in her own unusual style. Jefferson DeGray is a lawyer who fights for justice. His primary motivation is exposing the truth, and his primary physical skill is punching. DeGray was granted unnaturally long life by Persephone, and she left behind her ghostly friend to watch over DeGray and make sure he keeps up his quest of fighting tyrants. DeGray's gameplay isn't about rushdown exactly, and it isn't about zoning either. It's about frame trapping, which means making the opponent attack at the wrong times and punishing them for it greatly. Whenever you hit an opponent out of the startup of their moves in Fantasy Strike, you get a counter hit that stuns them slightly longer. But DeGray in particular has a special property. His counter hits cause much more dramatic effects, like wall bounces and ground bounces. DeGray's B button special is Counterpoint Step. He quickly dashes back, then forward again, and he can end the move 3 different ways by pressing either A, B, or C. A ends with Daggerfall Thrust, a punch that's very safe on block and gives a lot of frame advantage, which you can see from the blue symbol that appears on block. B ends with his powerful Tyrant Crusher, which does 2 damage. If you counter hit with it, it wall bounces the opponent and you can Tyrant Crusher again. He even says a different voice line if you do. Ending with C does Justice Kicks, an invulnerable attack that's unsafe on block. DeGray's C button sends his ghost out to grab the opponent. If she grabs them, she won't do any damage, but they're stunned briefly so DeGray can hit them himself. A good technique is to send out the ghost, then Counterpoint Step, and simply react to what happens. If the ghost grabs, then Tyrant Crusher. If not, then end with a safe punch or with no ender at all. Air C also summons the ghost and can be used in similar ways to the ground C. You can also do some cross-up trickery with the air version. DeGray's neutral A punch can combo to a second hit if you press A twice. If the ghost grabs the opponent when you're nearby, this is a good way to get 2 quick damage. Or you can punch and then cancel the second punch into the ghost summon to keep up the pressure. His forward A is a forward-moving shoulder attack that he can cancel into ground specials. His back A ground pound has really long range, and on counter hit, it sends the opponent flying so you can Tyrant Crusher them. You can actually combo his shoulder attack and then Tyrant Crusher if the ground pound counter hit, which lets him do 4 damage mid-screen, but you have to really work to set up that situation. DeGray's Air B can cancel to a second hit if you press the button twice. This move gives him a lot of mobility and it lets him chase down opponents if he's far away. He can jump in and go for 2 damage with it, and on block, opponents aren't sure if he'll do 1 or 2 attacks. As an air-to-air move, it's difficult to juggle for 2 damage with it, but on counter hit, it is possible. DeGray's ground super is a parry move called Ghost Riposte. If an opponent attacks into it with a strike, he'll automatically reverse it into a powerful 2-fisted punch for 2 damage. Opponents can throw DeGray if he tries to go for this, and they can hit him with projectiles, but the threat of Ghost Riposte can make it difficult for some characters to attack him. DeGray's air super, Final Arbiter, is a fast, full-screen punch of justice. He can use it to get in, or to sneak in a point of damage that he couldn't otherwise get, but the real dream is if you counter hit with it. In that case, it does a whopping 3 damage, so the fun of this move is fishing for that moment when you think the opponent will do something, and then counter hit them out of it. Playing DeGray has a different rhythm than other characters. He wants to counterpoint step a lot and send out his ghost a lot. He's fishing for a moment when the opponent does the wrong thing, so he can suddenly do a lot of damage. As a lawyer, DeGray will tell you that his opponents are bound to make a misplay sooner or later, and when they do, he'll be ready.